Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashem, Shah Bashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving the salutations thereof towards the Akim, that's forwarding this truth worldwide. And shalom to the Akim wa Akwafim that are learning and heeding to these lessons as we give them to you. And it's your brother once again, Laban. I'm actually another video for this week, and I'm just going to be responding briefly to this video, and then I'm going to get to other topics as usual, which is my style of doing my videos nowadays anyway. But yeah, this was sent among the brethren of one of my brethren from the camp that I'm in, which is branched from the central London camp. Basically my camp is called GMS London Forecasters. And yeah, I just want to get right into this Amalekite, as you can see, aka Small Hatter, which has been found by his brother, Go Black to Africa, and he posts him on the YouTube, and he mentions about how it just doesn't really do justice. And I mean, I understand what he was basically coming from, because it's like these JEWs, they want to keep it secret as to who they are. If who they are comes to the forefront, then people are going to be inquiring who these people really originate from, and are these people really what they say they are. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to let this man speak in his words, and then we're gonna get down to business. So yeah, let's do this.
Been a really tough last couple of weeks, I have to say. There's been a lot of news about the Jews in the, in the internet and public discourse, and not always in a positive way. In fact, I noted that yesterday the phrase "the Jews" was actually the top trending item on Twitter, and that just can't be a good thing.
And the reason why it's not a good thing, because again, it brings them to the light, and they don't want to be brought to the light at all, because they know who they really are, and they're not the JEWs, which the term JEW goes back to the term Judah. And the color of the Jews are very well clear, shown in the scriptures. And according to Jeremiah 14:2 to be exact, which that does not apply to them whatsoever, because they like to wear all black. And I mean, there's a reason why these pseudo JEWs wear all black to begin with, because whether they know it or not, they're serving a god, which is Saturn, which goes back to Saturnalia. That's why they wear all black. But going back again, speaking about Jeremiah, Jeremiah the prophet spoke about the estate of the Israelites, especially in these days to come. All right, and as well as they even call us black. These Edomites have declared us as black because of our dark hue to our skin, and as well as represents being in the state of mourning too, which in all reality, the Israelites are of a darker hue. Okay, and so there you have it. And as well as what I can't forget as well is what King Solomon said about himself. And King Solomon said that, "Look not upon me because I am black, but come." In other words, he was saying he was black and beautiful, as you hear that term from many other so-called black celebrities, or you've heard it from a film which was written with our people in it. So we know that the true, genuine look of those that of the tribe of Judah are of darker hue, of Negroid descent. Okay, and that's what is going to be exposed if they're exposed. And this is why this guy says what he says in his own words. And I want to just bring it back.
In the internet and public discourse, and not always in a positive way. In fact, I noted that yesterday the phrase "the Jews" was actually the top trending item on Twitter, and that just can't be a good thing. And unfortunately, we live in a time right now. I mean, right now, like today, where these issues are of exaggerated importance and often in a very delicate.
And it should be of exaggerated importance because the truth needs to be declared. Are you really the people? Or are you a bunch of liars? And I mean, for the most part, most of the times, most people have always kind of knew that they wouldn't really be official, authentic, uh, as well as they call themselves Israelis, all right, which the term Israeli means modern day Jew. So, and I mean, they're absolutely right to call themselves modern day Jew because there's no lineal linkage to those that are there in the land to the ancient Jews, which is what we are. We're the ancient Jews that left the land due to prophecy. But not all of us left the land, of course, because you had a lot of us that were in the land still, as well as Yahushua gave the prophecy out there. When you see the abomination and desolation, in other words, he was referring to the Roman generals, which will send the Roman army to pillage Jerusalem. That was at the time, and a lot of our people that stayed there died there starving in many other ways. But you had a reasonable amount of our people that left the city and fled to a different part of the world at the time. Okay, and that's in the Babylon the Timbuktu book, and it tells you that a lot of Israelites fled into Africa, basically. All right, and different other parts of Africa. Some North Africa, some, well, most of them West Africa to be exact. We could talk about places like Nigeria, places like Ghana and the likes, and even in the place of Israel today, it's been declared that the Igbo tribe officially are the descendants of the original Israelites. They came out with that, but as Esau doesn't want to put that out there on front display, which really that should have been on mainstream media news about those Igbos being those Israelites, or the direct descendants of those Israelites from the Bible. All right, and all of us, all of that are all together. We can include obviously the so-called African American, the so-called West Indian, and the so-called Haitians. They're the people of the kingdom of Judah to be exact, and they're the original people of Judea. Okay, so that's all I have to say on that regard. Let's play some more of this video.
Many of us have been concerned by the apparent rise of the Hebrew Israelite movement, which is a movement that has connections to Judaism, although at the same time also to Christianity. And normally this would not present any kind of challenge to.
And the reason why he said it has some form of connection to the Christian doctrine, because these fraudsters that are claiming to be us, they don't believe in the Messiah. Just to put it out there.
Maybe, they are not the first, and I certainly think they are not the last group of people who believe that they are of Jewish extraction, and there may in fact be some merit to that. That's going to be something we'll discuss in greater detail probably next week. But
and I mean, as I've already, let me stop this video.
Among some of them,
as I've already quoted a couple of precepts, that the original people that are the tribe of Judah to be exact are indeed so-called Negroes. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a time period now where that knowledge has already gathered abroad. You see, and this is why this guy, as he mentioned, going all the way back to 1 minute and 35 seconds, about how, when you go on the Google and you look at the term the Jew, or you type in, you Google the term the Jew, there's a lot of things that come up. All right, because as he's explained, it's they now become the main discussion of importance. and as well as who the Jews really are. There's a lot of people, you know, among the so-called white community that have came out even on YouTube and saying that, yeah, you know, Kanye West said something that we already kind of knew. So a lot of what we're talking about, a lot of Edomites have you know, taken to that information and have accepted it. And this is why most people don't really like the people that are calling themselves who they say they are, as well as the Prime Minister of Egypt too. And I have to include in saying this too, even the Prime Minister of Egypt. I forgot the guy's name, but he mentioned about how the Israelites came back. Excuse me, the Israelites left black and came back white. Right? He made a comment about that. Forgot the guy's name, man. You know, if you brothers can post that on the comment board, you know, that'd be appreciated. You know, so anyway, let's get some scriptures on this. So this is Proverbs 12 and verse 19. It says, "The lips of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment." Yeah, the lie which was told that they're the people of God, stating all the way back to, you know, that state which, you know, there's no scripture which says that the Heavenly Father was going to establish a state in the land of what they call Israel today, which really that term goes back to us. But rather it says that we would be saved from out of the land of those that haven't captivated us, and through the Messiah, we would be established in that land, and therefore you would have the 12 gates, you would have your king, which is King David, and you will have as well as the Messiah in the midst of all of that. So when they went back, projected this lie after World War II, claiming that this is the prophecy of them going back into the land, what we also got to think is where is the 12 pearly gates? Where is the Messiah, and where is King David? And you had this guy by the name of what is it, David Ben Gurion or something like that. He was the first prime minister of that state during that time period. So I guess he was supposed to be the King David of those people. But I'm not going to go too deep into that, because if I go too deep into that, they're gonna clip this video. So I'm not even gonna go there. We just gonna cover the bases. Going back to the point of the matter is the fact that they lied. They lied hugely in saying that they were those people, or they were the people of the book. And you know what's funny is the fact that if they're the people of the book, the Israelites, then shouldn't they believe in the book? Shouldn't they believe as well as the Messiah coming back? Because the Messiah, as it is written throughout all of the book. That's in the book of Psalms 40 and 7, as it is written, the volume of the whole book, and it's written of him. So if anyone should believe in the Messiah, it should be these people. And as well as they should believe in the Bible too, right along with it. So let's read this again. "The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment." And what's happening is the truth, because the lies wear and tear off naturally anyway. But what's happening is this truth that we've been bringing out to the forefront for years is tarnishing the lies that was taught and that was told worldwide. You know, we can even speak on from Christianity. You know, Christianity has for the longest time has projected these Edomites as angels, as godlike, and everything to do with the Creator. And it's coming out that that's not truth either. That's a lie. All right. And I mean, I have to also mention too in the Jewish encyclopedia. This is what they said themselves, and I have it on this website over here. And it's in 1925 edition, volume 5, page 41 states, "Edom is in modern Jewry." And that's all I'm going to say from there. So they've even said it themselves in the encyclopedia of 1925. I think is what is it? Page 5, encyclopedia volume 1. Excuse me, volume 5, 1925 edition, volume 5, page 41. So they got it in their own encyclopedia. So I mean, like, what are we talking about in verse 15? Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourges shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. So at first, what I'm going to say is that these words were spoken against our people at the time in the land of, this was during the time of Babylon at the time. And, Jerusalem was basically desolate because the Babylonians took it over. And I believe Isaiah was in that time period. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I'm correct on that. And if I'm wrong, I'll put that I'm wrong on the on the post production. Okay, so now in saying this, as to what I've read, this can be applied to Esau, especially the JEWs. They believe that through this lie of them saying that they are the people, they're going to be hid. So on the falsehood have they hid themselves, because the truth as to who they really are, right along these regular Edomites, is what they are, Edomites. As I just showed you and read to you in the Jewish Encyclopedia of 1925 edition, volume 5, page 41 states, Edom is modern day Jewry. So they hid themselves in our identity. As you can actually you can actually take someone to court. That's actually a crime. That's actually a crime, false identity. Identity theft is called. There you go, identity theft. It's a criminal offense to take someone's identity and to claim it for yourself. Okay, but that's another video for another time. So yeah, let's move on forward. So in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity do have already worked, and only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that's what's happening right now. I mean, this truth, which is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is proceeding out of the Israelites, to be exact, great millstone, it's got them on shaky grounds. And this is why he's upset about how they've become the main topic online, that people are speaking about. So they're on shaky grounds, man. They're on shaky grounds. Because they've become, Salakia, because they've become the head topic spoken about on Google, on social media and all of that stuff, as he's explained in his own words. When in all reality, the smart among them just want to be in secrecy. They don't want to be declared out there to the world as to who they are and what they really stand for. They want to be in secrecy, man. Okay, but what it is we're in a time of revelation where all is being revealed. Everything and everyone is being revealed. Whether you want to reveal yourself or you don't, you're being revealed. All right. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And how is that being done? By us coming out and teaching this truth as to who we are, and many other truths that they're hiding. All right. So that's all I got to read on that regard. So now what I want to do is I want to get to another article dealing with a different subject matter here. So yeah, just to fast forward, I want to read this and show you my analysis on what I think of what this could very well be. And just to bring it to you, I believe that this is a psychological operation, and I'll explain that later on. So this reads, COVID conspiracy theorists found guilty of plotting to topple government with coordinated terror attacks. A conspiracy theorist has been found guilty of plotting terror attacks on the UK's communication systems and motorways to topple the British government. Oliver Lewin, 38, from Colville, Leicestershire, believed the spread of the coronavirus had triggered the emergency of a Chinese communist system in the UK, and that the country was being controlled by a Jewish elite. He was also deeply suspicious of the C-19 package. The former AV engineer used the Telegram app to identify and recruit like-minded individuals to create a national network of those sharing his ideology to carry out coordinated attacks. He planned to target media, transport infrastructure, power communication road and rails as a part of the plot. So that's all I pretty much have to read. Like I said, I believe that this is a psyop to convey a message to those that have the same similar views as this guy in terms of denying the COVID pandemic, which was, projected towards the people through many, news outlets, mainstream media outlets, as it's the truth and everything else. And as well as you have a reasonable amount of people that believe that this dragon's juice, so to speak, which people took, it's able to do, harm to you. So the thing of it is, I believe is reading this article that they're trying to associate this guy with those that believe in what he believed in, that they're possible terrorists, so to speak. And it just reminds me of also, as it is written in Revelations 13 and 16, that he's going to cause all those small and great, rich and poor to receive that mark. And if you don't want to undergo to receive that mark, then something's wrong with you. We got to check you out, and we got to put you in a facility, a concentrated camp, and do certain things to you to see whether you down for the cause or this lie that we're proposing to you or not. And if you're not down with us, then basically you're an enemy combatant. All right. Because what I like to believe also is the fact that these powers are paranoid now, and the proof is the fact that we're in a police state, which we've been in ever since 13. And speaking about surveillance, down here in London to be exact, London has a little under 700,000 cameras all around. So, I can't be wrong in saying that. All right, that's just, again, my analysis, that they're paranoid that there's going to be people out there that share these kind of views, and they may planning on toppling the government and stuff like that. So a guy like this, I mean, we don't know who this man is. This man could have been in the military, or he could have been in the police department, and he was told by his bosses or whoever told him to do this psychological operation, or whatever the case is, man. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be kind of looking into this case even more to see if this is official, if he actually did this on his own merit, and to just find out what's really going on behind this, man. Because you can't take everything for face value nowadays, especially with what Esau is bringing to you, man, with these major psychological operations out here. So yeah, like I said, this is a message to convey to those that share his views about the JAB, basically the JEWJAB. All right, so yeah, that's all I have to say on this, man. I want to get to the scripture here, 2 Corinthians 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices, as it is also written in the Apocrypha. Trust not your enemy, for even when he bows his head down, you should, pay close attention to him, as a looking glass, so to speak. And you will see that all of his rust have not altogether, all his rust altogether has not gone. I'm roughly paraphrasing that, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Because this is Esau, man. Esau is the deceiver. He's the great plotter and the deceiver of all. And Esau will do anything it takes with using these tactics that the Lord, that were really Satan gave him, by the command of the Heavenly Father, to use to forward his agenda. So now let's read this. 2 Esdras 15 and verse 16. Woe to the verse 14. We'll begin right there. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be seditions among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the courses of their action shall stand in their power." And this is what the devil is planning for. They're planning for great insurrection among the people. Okay, so that's why they throw this story out here so that people can read this and those that share his views to not result to the violence, because the time is going to come where people will result to the violence due to the lies that were told, and because of the lies that were told, many died in transition to the essence, so to speak. All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say and give you in this video here. Lord willing, this was exhorting and edifying at the same time. So yeah, that's all I have to say.